Hello wrestling fans, the Wrestling Wizard here and welcome to another video. Now can you believe it's been over 3 years since Alexa Bliss has won a main event women's title in the singles division? Madness, isn't it? You've got to think all the way back to Money in the Bank 2018 was the last time she held the gold. Of course on that night she won the Money in the Bank briefcase, cashed it in on Nia Jax and won the Raw women's title after beating up Ronda Rousey as well, I might add. But of course, speaking of Ronda Rousey would then go on to defeat Alexa Bliss at the next pay-per-view at SummerSlam, and then they had a whole rematch, and then Alexa Bliss lost that also. So that's the last time she's won the title, and of course in that match between Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss at Hell in a Cell, Alexa Bliss received a concussion, and of course from that point, understandably, WWE were cautious in the treatment of her and returning her to the ring too early. So kudos to them in that case. I'm not giving much kudos lately to WWE, as on recording this video, John Morrison and other superstars have also been released again due to budget cuts. But that's another story. But they did handle the whole Alexa Bliss situation really good. They gave her a sort of coffee gimmick to fill the gap. And then when she did return to the ring, it was in a tag team role. And of course she joined forces with Nikki Cross. They took the titles and they were two-time tag champions, and that's great. However, it's still been a very, very, very long time since Alexa Bliss is being held in high regard in the women's division. And she deserves to be. If you look at Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, and Bayley even, okay? Those four are arguably the top main event draws in the women's division, especially over the last 2 to 3 years. Now, Alexa Bliss, in my opinion, is up there in that category. She should be in the top 5. However, since returning to the ring, and as much as I absolutely loved her being aligned alongside The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, with his time in WWE, and they had that whole hocus pocus gimmick between the two of them, which I thought worked really, really well, I really feel now it is the time to start taking Alexa Bliss more seriously in terms of the main event title picture in the women's division. I really do. Because people could argue, right, this whole hocus pocus gimmick's been great. She's performed it really well. She's done what she's told and absolutely set the world alight with her commitment, passion and dedication to fulfilling that role. She's absolutely shone on all levels. We can't argue that. Her performance has been outstanding. She should be given Hollywood movie roles with way she's dedicated herself towards that role. However, all fans are going to look at is being taken seriously in the main event title scene, and that gimmick, the whole evil, darker, more sinister Alexa Bliss gimmick, equals 0 main event titles. It does, and you can't argue that. And as good as it is, you're not ever going to take it seriously unless they start putting Alexa Bliss into the main event fold. Now, yes, granted, she had a title match against Charlotte Flair recently for the Raw Women's title, so they are making those steps. However, she lost, and that's cool if there's a follow-up, and I really hope there's a follow-up with Alexa Bliss. I hope they don't leave her in the lurch, leave her in the dark with this hocus pocus gimmick, which if it doesn't get pushed to the top of the mountain, it's a mid-card gimmick. And you really don't want that. And I honestly think how they re-debut Alexa Bliss into WWE, whether it be a new, sinister, darker version of the Lily doll in human form, or a hybrid between that and the goddess gimmick, or they bring back the goddess gimmick, whatever they do, WWE need to insert Alexa Bliss back into the main event title picture and capture a title, because she deserves it. You cannot argue she deserves it. And people will say, well, she's not on the same level as Charlotte Flair or Bayley and Sasha in the ring. But she kills them on the mic and overall performance. She can handle herself in the ring. As an overall package, she is up there as one of the top performers, in my personal opinion. WWE just need to find a sweet spot with her character to satisfy the goddess fans and to satisfy the hocus pocus element to her character, the dynamic that we've seen recently. And It's no secret that WWE aren't finished with this whole evil, sinister gimmick, because why would you put it in the Raw opening preview? Also, why would Alexa Bliss push it so much in terms of merchandise? She's very active on her social media. The black hearts, the responding to the fans in almost like a dark, twisted type of manner. It all bodes towards her returning in that type of gimmick. Again, returning in that type of gimmick. We can actually see it happening. It's clear to see. It's obvious. There are hints. And if she's, I mean, I know we can't take everything we see on social media as gospel, but it points towards her going down that route again. And it makes sense for Alexa Bliss to return for WWE in their bottom line, which that's all they really care about, because we're coming up to Christmas and the Lily dolls are out, the Lily plush dolls for the holiday season are out. And of course, if you bring her back now, or Survivor Series, or the Monday Night Raw after that, you can push more merchandise with her in the product, live in the product. WWE are going to want to do that. And they're selling Lily dolls and they're selling merchandise within this gimmick. Why would they stop it? Because we know what Vince likes. It's quite evident, really. So it'd be interesting to see. But WWE, in my opinion, need to get her into that main event title scene ASAP, because you don't want her to wither away in this gimmick, which is not going anywhere. And if you put the strap on her in a more evil, more sinister, darker gimmick, people are going to take it more seriously, aren't they? She's actually got the title. If she's standing above Charlotte Flair, for example, or a Becky Lynch, or a Sasha Banks, or a Bayley down the line, you're going to take it seriously. At the moment, you can't take it seriously because it's got no end result. All you're going to say is, well, yeah, all these were great, all these mind games were great, but what did they actually equal? 0 titles. And I know the whole Bray Wyatt association was abandoned because of obvious reasons. They obviously had a storyline there, which would have been really interesting to see what that turned out to be. So, to be fair, do I think it was right firing Bray Wyatt? No, I think it was absolutely ridiculous and stupid, but in Alexa Bliss's defense, they did have to change direction with that character. And there's a minority of people that like it, and they're going to continue it if that's the case. I'm on the fence. I'm sort of 50-50. I think if they book it properly, it could work. But then again, this is WWE. What do you think? What's your thoughts and opinions? What do you think they're going to do with Alexa Bliss? When do you think she's going to debut? Do you think they're going to wait to the Royal Rumble? Or do you think it's going to be as soon as Survivor Series? I think it's going to be Survivor Series. So hopefully WWE, with logic, will tie up the loose ends with the Charlotte Flair situation. Alexa Bliss gets her revenge, Lily gets her revenge, and we can move on. Thank you so much for watching the video. It'd be really appreciative if you could like the video, share the video, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in another video.